promotion as well for the Ignite Your Promotion, and then you can take a look at that as well, okay? Okay, it shouldn't take me more than a couple minutes right now. I'm about to jump into a meeting as well.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone. This is Julie McDonald with Microcom Technologies, and I'd like to thank all of you for attending today's webinar with Grandstream. Today's host is Phil Bowers, Senior Marketing Manager, and he'll be presenting today. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to submit them in the question box, and Phil will answer them at the end of today's presentation. Phil, thank you so much for hosting. I'm so glad you're here, and I am finished for now, so please go ahead and take over.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Julie, and thanks everyone for being with us here today. My name is, as Julie mentioned, my name is Phil Bowers. I'm the Senior Marketing Manager over here at Grandstream. I'm sure many of you have heard my voice or been at some previous webinars where I've presented. We've teamed up with Microcom over the course of the last, 6 or 8 months now to do a bunch of webinars, and we'll keep doing them, so keep looking out for that. Today we're going to focus on, for the next today's webinar, as usual, we'll aim to go in the 25-minute range. I'm going to jump around and cover some new product updates. Most of it that we're going to talk about is actually great new features and functionalities that we've added to some of our core products over the last couple of months, simply through free firmware and software upgrades. So a lot of the stuff that I'm going to talk about here today, in terms of new product updates, are things that anyone that has a Grandstream device can use and access for free. And then we're going to wrap up by kind of going through some integrated solutions, going to kind of, for the first time, really show you, as Grandstream begins to expand our business outside of VoIP into a lot of other communications technologies, some really great examples of deployments of integrated solutions, not just VoIP, but solutions that will combine VoIP, networking, Wi-Fi, routers, facility access, etc. So let me change the slide here. There we go. All right, so I'm going to start off with some recent updates to our GXP IP phones and our UCM series of IP PBXs. I'm going to introduce the GDS 3710 IP video door system. I believe we covered that in a previous webinar, so I can kind of go through that pretty quickly. Going to focus on integration with other Grandstream products. Integration is one of the keys of our themes today. We will real quickly touch on and just go over our GWN series of networking solutions again. And then we'll finish up by talking about how to build integrated solutions that pretty much combine our whole product portfolio. So let's start with recent updates to GXP IP phones. This is actually something that we rolled out a couple of weeks ago, and that our core resellers are really excited about this feature. And we've actually already seen a lot of use of this throughout the world. We've released a new piece of software called Grandstream Affinity. You can go onto our website and download this for free. And what this is this allows you to integrate your Grandstream IP phone with any computer, laptop, PC, etc. Basically to allow you to control your IP phones, to access every feature and functionality of it on the desktop of your screen. There's a lot of various businesses, restaurants, even general offices, hotels, etc., that really want to be able to use their PC essentially to monitor, make calls, etc. It just gives you, an additional added productivity tool. No longer do you just have access to your phone, the hard phone itself, but now you can access all those features, functionalities on any computer it's connected to. So this is currently supported by our GXP 2100 and GXP 1700 series. We hope to support other devices coming up soon. Gives you the ability to view all answered, dialed, missed calls, as well as review previous transfers. Again, any feature or functionality of the phone, transferring, forwarding, picking up calls, making calls, changing phone books, uploading phone books, whatnot, all can be done through this software. Again, it's called Grandstream Affinity. You can go onto our website and download this for free. This interacts directly with the IP phone. So it's not going through our PBX. This is interacting directly with the Grandstream IP phone. Just to show you some screenshots of it to show you how streamlined it is. Again, the ability, everything you can do on the IP phone, you can do here. View calls, make calls, transfer, phone book, forward, any of that. Do not disturb, call forwarding, all of that can be done through this app running on your, I believe it is currently a Windows software, so it is available for Windows PCs and laptops. And as I mentioned earlier, this piece of software is for the IP phones. It interacts directly with the IP phones. It doesn't go through a PBX or your network or anything. Super easy to set up. It has an auto discover feature built right into it. You just plug your phone into the same network. It will find that device and then allow you to immediately add it to the piece of software on the computer you're running to be able to, with a code that's generated, that's sent through the phone, which allows you to finalize the pairing. And this just, again, show you how easy it is to set up directly through the phone, auto discover, enter the code it's going to give you onto the phone, and you're set to go. One thing to kind of tease it in terms of, the popular, I guess the industry term for what this software is computer telephony integration, CTI. We also in the near future are going to have another application similar to this that will actually be built into our UCM series of IP PBXs, which will allow you to essentially natively have all of this set up for computers on your network with any IP phones on your network. This one, right now, Affinity is from the IP phone to your computer, but soon you'll be able to access the same features and functionality through the UCM to be able to deploy this on a mass scale to all the phones on computers on your network. So that kind of brings us into some of the UCM updates that I want to talk about here today. I'm sure many of you are familiar with our UCM series of IP PBXs. It is one of the most popular on-premise IP PBXs in the world. It's been out on the market for just about 4 years now. It runs the very stable, very popular Asterisk platform. One of the best things about it is we give you access to all the features and functionalities that we can possibly give you access to, all enterprise-grade features, and the ability to customize it. And again, it's not just a voice PBX, it is a unified communications manager, which is what UCM stands for, full voice, video, data, and mobility solutions built into it, no licensing fees. And one of the great things about the UCM, which you've probably heard me talk about before, is that we are constantly adding features and functionality to it, and all of these upgrades and all of these updates are always going to be free and available simply through downloading free software from them. So over the last couple of months, we've made a variety of additions to the UCM platform, and I'm going to highlight 2 of them here today, which allow them to be used in different vertical industries. We're going to talk about property management system, which is now supported by the UCM. That is for hotels. We're going to talk about customer relationship management, or CRM integration, for businesses that use CRM to be able to get access to that information through their UCM system right there on their IP phone and have the UCM feed information back into the CRM platform. And one thing I'll mention here that is coming soon is a web-based call center solution that will be built right into the user interface, which will add a variety of features and functionality to really optimize this device for for call centers to use. We've been working with various resellers throughout the world who deal with call centers to add features, to add the functionality that they need. So I'm not going to talk about the call center functionality here today, but keep an eye out for that. So just real quickly, mentioned property management system, which the industry actually abbreviates as PMS. So property management system is basically just what a hotel is going to use to basically manage their hotel, to control guest check-in, check-out, to control minibar features and functionalities, to control wake-up calls, et cetera, et cetera. And these are, so what a property management system is it's a piece of third-party software that, in this case, would be integrated with your telephony network. Previously, we did not support the integration of property management systems, and now we do. The main one that we have tested with and that we support is H Mobile. This is actually a company that is based in Spain. We also support Mitel property management systems as well, and we hope to, going forward, test with and certify the use of other property management systems as well. H Mobile and Mitel are the main ones right now. So again, basically this allows you to integrate a Grandstream, any telephony network that is running on a Grandstream UCM system with this third-party property management system. And the way this works, as I mentioned, for things such as Wakeup service support, guest check-in, check-out, minibar features. For example, I'll use the minibar example, which you're going to see. Is it on here? No, this isn't. I thought I had another slide. So the minibar feature, for example, in most hotels is actually controlled just by the housekeeper or the team that cleans the rooms going in, checking what's in there, calling a number, and then pressing a couple of buttons to signal which items in the minibar are not there, for example. And this, integration with property management systems allows us to integrate with those systems to be able to have any telephony system anchored by a Grandstream UCM to feed information into that property management system and to have access to it. So what you're doing is you're integrating the UCM with that third-party software. So that is property management software. The other, we talked about that here again, even things such as, you see the minibar, actually it was there, but even, adding rooms, billing calls, controlling guest check-in and check-out, wake-up service, all of this and much more is controlled by hotels using this property management software, which you can now integrate your UCM series with. The last thing that's pretty easy to cover here in terms of the UCM, new features and functionalities to the UCM, is integration with CRMs. The two that we have integrated with are Salesforce and Sugar CRM. So basically what this enables you to do is to have your Grandstream communication or telephony system integrated with Salesforce and Sugar CRM so that information and calls that come in, information about that caller can be shown to you on the LCD screen of the Grandstream phone, whereas the UCM will also report that information back to the CRM. You're integrating your telephony system with your CRM so the two can access and share information. Pretty straightforward, great for sales-based businesses or anyone that uses a CRM. Sugar CRM and Salesforce are probably the two most popular, and you can integrate them directly with the UCM series. All right, so that wraps up our some of the software and firmware upgrades to the GXP IP phones and to the UCM series. Now I'm going to go into, real quickly, I'm going to talk about our GDS 3710. This is a great new product that we have. It is our IP video door system. I'm just going to real quickly go through a couple of slides on some updates to our GWN series of networking solutions, and then we'll wrap up by talking about some actual deployment scenarios. Looks like we should be good to wrap up here in about the next 10 or 15 minutes. So starting out here with the GDS 3710, this is a product that we at Grandstream are very, very excited about. It's been out on the market, I believe, for just since the end of March, if I remember correctly. And so basically what this is, as you can see, it is a hemispheric IP video door system. It allows you to track, monitor, record, complete access to any facility. It allows you to control who has access to that facility through the use of PIN codes or RFID cards or RFID fobs. It has a built-in two-way camera. As you can see, it also offers you built-in intercom functionality. It features an IP66 certified weatherproof casing, so it can be used inside or outside. We sell it with a flush wall mount, a variety of other accessories that I'll probably talk about here on the next couple of slides. But basically, as you see in that second bullet point there, it serves as a HD IP camera, as well as an IP intercom, as well as a facility access solution. One of the best things about this device, as you're going to see here, is its ability to integrate with other Grandstream solutions. And I know that there are a lot of door cameras out there, of video door systems. One of the best, and in my opinion, truly most innovative things that we offer with this device that you're not going to find natively from other manufacturers is its ability to integrate with all of our IP phones and, frankly, all of our solutions or products in general, which we'll talk about as we go here. So basically, this device allows you to use your IP phones on your network to fully control, monitor, track, be notified, etc., of facility, of entrance, or excuse me, access to facility or any security event that this device might record. It could be integrated with all of our IP phones, our video phones, our 2100 series, our 1600 series, 1700 series, DEC phones, even Grandstream Wave, which I will show you here on the next couple of slides. So basically what this allows you to do is use your communication system. It basically allows you to use that communication system to control access to your building. It adds security functionality to it. It gives you the ability to make and receive two-way video or audio calls to and from this device, to let visitors in by just touching a button right on your IP phone. So I'm going to come back to, so while we were talking about the integration, I'm going to come back to a couple of slides that you just saw there. So for example, what you see here is a screenshot of 3275. It would look the same thing on the 3240 of somebody who has is basically calling to be let into the building. It is able to make a video call directly to any of our video phones. You're able to see the live video feed right then and there. You can pick up the phone and actually have an audio conversation as well with the person. And then as you see, there's just tap a button right there on the screen to open the door. So great functionality with our video phones. With our GXP 2100 series IP phones, we have actually optimized these devices to be able to receive, we call them video snapshots. It's basically a video. There's still images that update every second or so, so it kind of looks like a video, although it's just really a bunch of still images coming in, so that you can also be able to see what the device sees on any of our 2100 series high-end IP phones. And again, open the door, as you see from the soft key right below, right from there. Also talk through the intercom to somebody that might be near the device. With all of our other devices, 1700 series, 1600 series DEC phones, and Grandstream Wave are also compatible. With the DEC phones, the 1700 series and the 1600 series, you'll be able to make and receive audio calls from this device, be notified of security events that like motion detection, that this device might be set to monitor and to contact someone about. And again, so you can basically have an audio conversation and let somebody in right from these phones. Grandstream Wave, especially if you're using the Android version, which supports video, Grandstream Wave is our free mobile app, free soft phone app. Will work with any SIP account. Doesn't have to be used only with SIP accounts on Grandstream devices or Grandstream PBXs. And if you're using the Android version of that, which supports video, you are actually able to make and receive two-way video calls to and from this device and let people in right from your screen. So great option there for somebody that might be moving around the facility, who needs to control access, or who might be out of the office, etc. All right, so I'm going to go back a couple of slides here. Another great thing about the GDS 3710, which we may not have covered too much in our last webinar, if we did cover this, and I apologize if we did not, is this GDS Manager software that we make available for it. This is free software that you can download from the tools section of our website, just like Grandstream Affinity that I showed you earlier. And this basically is a software that allows you to centrally monitor and track your GDS 3710 or multiple GDS 3710s in multiple locations. We also make and sell, the picture you see on the bottom there is a external USB RFID card and RFID fob reader, which you can also integrate and use with GDS Manager. So maybe you don't need a full GDS in a location, certain location, but you want to be able to, have this program monitor and track all of the activity, you can buy one of these devices. All it needs to be done is plug into a computer on the network, and it will be able to send and receive all the information from GDS Manager. And so basically what this allows you to do is to manage your GDS network and your USB, RFID card or fob reader network. It gives you the ability to track, monitor, and control access to a facility, attendance management, security. It's great for HR teams where you need to monitor when people clock in and clock out. Gives you the ability to see who access a facility, to restrict certain RFID cards, it provides reports for door entrance and attendance management, et cetera, et cetera. Again, this is free software that runs with our GDS 3710 and also works with the USB readers accessory that we sell. Just to wrap up this, actually we pretty much talked about this in terms of actually being able to get in or out of a facility with this device. It's compatible with RFID cards or fobs, which we do sell with the device separately. You can also use custom numeric codes or PIN codes, guest codes with time settings, dual authentication, which would require an RFID card or fob and a code combination. Also gives you the ability to have controlled access. To ring a doorbell, you see the doorbell button, dial an extension to be let in. It can be set for motion detection, so as soon as somebody shows up, it triggers a video call to somewhere else. These devices can be integrated with third-party alarm in or alarm out devices, intercom, speakers, sirens, other alarms, or motion sensors can also be integrated with door openers and third-party door opener or door strikers, I believe what the term is. All right, so that's pretty much our GDS 3710. One of the newest things that we have here, which as you see here, can also be integrated with our NVRs to allow you to centrally record and monitor video feeds from all GDS 3710s on your network, or also including your security cameras from one central location. It's not tying up anything else on your network, a PC or whatnot. All of the recordings can be centrally monitored and saved directly with our series network video recorders. All right, so now as we move towards the end here and begin to wrap up in the next couple of moments, just going to cover real quickly, because it's a huge thing going on for us here at Grandstream, our GWN series of access points and routers. I know we covered this in depth in some of the other previous webinars we've had, so I'm just going to provide a general update for you here. As you can see, the same three devices, the 2 access points and the router that we spoke about in the last couple of webinars, are what you see here on the screen. We currently have 2 different access points, GWN 7610, GWN 7600. Basically, the way to differentiate those is the 7610 is a little bit of a higher end model because it supports faster speeds, whereas the 7600 gives you more client support, but not as fast Wi-Fi speed. So basically, what you're looking at here is if speeds are important to you and you need to be able to offer fast speeds, the 7610 is your choice. If you're more interested in being able to support a lot of Wi-Fi clients, such as restaurant, hotel, somebody that needs to be able to offer Wi-Fi, but that's not, not looking to be able to offer comprehensive Wi-Fi speeds, 7600 is for you. Both of those devices will give you either 175 meter range or 65 meter range, which is you get with the 7600. Actually, a little bit of a typo. You see the embedded controller. I'm going to talk about that in a moment. That might be the best feature of all of these GWN devices. And if you're looking for a router to use with these devices, that's going to give you the ability to create lots of different Wi-Fi networks, to create VPNs, to create both a wired and a wireless network. The GWN 7000 is for you. Has a more powerful embedded controller, which I'll tell you about in a moment. 2 WAN ports, 5 LAN ports for a total of 7 gigabit ports. VPN speeds up to 300 megabytes per second, 1 million packets per second routing, and the ability to handle and give up to 10 gigabits per second to all the access points and other devices connected to it on the network. And again, just to kind of wrap, to begin to move forward with this conversation on the GWN. As I mentioned in all our other webinars, this is probably one of the biggest expansions of Grandstream going into this networking solutions market. Over the last couple of years, we've really observed that market in general and felt like a lot of other markets that we've gotten into, I see a lot of comparisons and similarities to the PBX marketplace, the video conferencing marketplace. The networking solutions marketplace essentially had a lot of, it basically was catered toward companies or businesses with large spending power. The devices were expensive, they were limited in network and client support, but most importantly, they were extremely hard to install and manage. And that embedded controller is basically the biggest innovation that we are bringing to the Wi-Fi marketplace, something that you're not going to see pretty much from too many other major manufacturers, and I will explain that to you in a second. Basically, it just allows you to set up and control these devices from one central location in a matter of moments. So one new thing to mention to you on the GWN side is a product that is currently in beta for us. We just launched the beta test for this product. This is going to be our first outdoor long-range Wi-Fi access point. The previous two you saw were both indoor access points. This is a IP66 certified outdoor Wi-Fi access point, tested to operate from -30 degrees up to 60 degrees Celsius, Wi-Fi coverage range of almost 300 meters, support for 250 clients, and the embedded controller as well. So you'll see this product probably come out within the next couple of months. This is our first outdoor long-range weatherproof Wi-Fi access points. Keep an eye out for that. So I talked about the controllerless management earlier. I have this slide, and then we will move into the last couple of slides that I have here. So we should be able to wrap up here in just the next couple of moments. As I mentioned, one of the biggest innovations and the problems that we saw with the networking solutions industry that we felt like we could solve and that we have is the way that these devices are set up, installed, and managed. We have found a process that makes this much easier and much simpler than pretty much any other manufacturer out there. That we know of, Cisco is actually the only company at the moment that is really utilizing this controllerless management, or what we call an embedded controller. So previously and historically with the Wi-Fi access point marketplace, you needed a separate device or software known as a controller to set up, manage, install all of your access points. You had to basically, and the problem with that was that it was either, as I mentioned, something you had to purchase separately or use separately in addition to the access point. But it enables you to, or requires you to basically touch every access point. You got to install the access point, connect it to your network, go back to the controller to set it up, and do the same thing for each single one you want to set up and manage. What we have done is we have built that functionality into all of our access points and all of our routers. So any Grandstream access point and any Grandstream router has controller functionality built into the product's web user interface. This is no extra cost. This is nothing else you have to download. It is natively built into the web user interface for all of our access points and all of our routers. So what that allows you to do is use any access point or any router as the controller to set up and manage entire other networks. Our 7610 access point, this controller can set up, install, and manage up to 50 other Grandstream access points. Our 7600 the controller built into it can set up, control, manage up to 30 other Grandstream Wi-Fi access points. And our GWN 7000, the router, is able to, that controller can set up, control, manage up to 300 Grandstream Wi-Fi devices. So again, easy setup and management. It allows you to install one access point and then add as many access points as you want to that same network, and use that one centralized web user interface for that one device to set up, manage, control the entire device or the entire network. So the controller is not just built in, but it is a centralized controller that can manage other access points, other routers, etc., all built in and all free. All right, so I realize I'm running a couple of minutes over here. I believe I have 4 slides left, so we'll probably run about 5-6 minutes longer. than I thought. So now that we kind of in this webinar touched on in a variety of capacities most of our solutions. We talked about our GXP IP or our IP phones towards the beginning. We talked about our UCM IP PBX. We talked about our GDS IP video door system, and we talked about our Wi-Fi solutions. One of the best things about Grandstream, and truly one of our competitive advantages, is that we do provide all these solutions. There are a few other companies in the world, if any, that are going to provide all of this hardware that allows you to build complete communication solutions that don't just give you the ability to, it literally covers the entire end of the communication spectrum: telephony, internet access, security, conferencing, mobility, etc., data options through the PBX. And so let's take all of this and actually give you some real life examples of how this solution can be installed in a variety of different locations. You're obviously here, you're going to start with our router and our access points. You're then going to add the UCM series of IP PBX, and to complete the solution, you're going to integrate with that IP PBX, IP phones, video conferencing, surveillance, access management, etc. So let's take a look at a small to medium office. You have the GWN 7000 router, which is bringing in service for the entire network. The router on the Wi-Fi side will be integrated with your access points, your Wi-Fi and your wired networks, giving you the ability to really customize that in a variety of ways, to have many different access points with one network, different networks per access point, etc., while also using this router to kind of send out your wired connection, to create VPNs maybe between different offices. You're also going to integrate a UCM PBX with that GWN 7000 router to connect, to integrate the network from the router into the PBX. And then with the PBX, you will integrate IP phones, you'll integrate conferencing, you'll integrate video door systems, IP video surveillance equipment as well. So that the entire network is able to basically communicate with each other. We have a variety of IP phones that support Wi-Fi as well. So yeah, this is pretty much your standard example for a small to medium-sized office building an entire integrated solution with Grandstream products. So now let's move up to a multi-floor office. And really, it's a lot of similarities here. You're looking at a little bit more customization on the right in terms of the Wi-Fi and the wired networks. All of our access points give you the ability to offer up to 16 different networks. So for these larger offices, you're probably going to want to offer different networks, a variety of different networks on each access point, specific network for sales, for marketing, for tech support, etc., etc. Whereas the previous example, the small office, you're probably most of the time going to have the same Wi-Fi networks offered on all access points, so that people can move from one side of the office to the other. And here, you're probably going to get a little bit more customized with that, offering up to 16 different networks for different departments or whatnot. And again, all of this anchored centrally by a GWN 7000 router and a UCM series IP PBX. Now we get into multi-location offices, and the big thing here, and as I mentioned earlier, is the VPN connection, which is facilitated by our GWN 7000. Create a VPN connection between those two routers in two different locations to give you the ability to share networks, to share network resources across two different offices and really in any location in the world, while also being able to access the communication system from that network. Here you have two UCMs, both peered onto the same network. Gives you the ability to dial extensions from one office to the other, whether you're calling from an IP phone to an IP phone, from a video door system to an IP phone in another office, video conferencing back and forth, whatnot. So that's a multi-location office, and I believe, is this the last slide that we have here? Got two more slides here for you. High occupancy building, which is kind of just a fancy term that we use for hotels, dorms, conference centers, residential complexes, etc. Again, you see very, very similar to a lot of the other ones. As you can see, a lot of the deployments are very similar across all of these. It's just the capacity and in most cases, the specific Wi-Fi or networking settings that are going to differ from each one. And so here, obviously, you're going to, again, the ability to support up to 16 different networks. You're going to have guest networks here probably for your hotel guests, for your conference center guests. Whereas on the other side of it, you're running your internal staff communication network throughout the hotel, throughout the dorm, throughout the conference center, while also being able to keep your, your Wi-Fi, your networking, your guest networks, your internal networks on that same network so that they can all be monitored from one location. And we will finally wrap up here. Again, I apologize for going a couple of minutes over. With the retail store, the real example here is the ability to create a VPN connection, as you see on the right, between two different retail stores. A lot of stores like to be able to, especially franchises, share networks, share the ability to access those locations from other locations. And then as you see on the left, you would integrate your networking with your telephony or your conferencing or your video security, IP video door system network by connecting that UCM to the router to get the service coming in through the router. Data web service will be routed through your networking side, and your telephony system or your SIP trunks or what have you, your SIP extensions will be routed through that IP PBX. All right, so that wraps up what I had covered, had set to cover here today. I apologize for going a couple of minutes extra. I thought we covered some really good content here. Covered pretty much all of the new things that are, or the new stuff we've come out with recently, and that is on the horizon. And then really wanted to bring it all home by kind of talking about the way you can build integrated solutions with all of our products. Yeah, so that pretty much wraps it up for me, and I'll turn it back over to Julie.
Phil, thank you very much for that wonderful presentation, and it looks like we do have some questions for you. Let me start with the first one. Let's see. We have got... First question says, with connecting my world, could I connect my phone book from my cell phone?
Interesting question. So we do offer a variety of ways to do that. And I guess I'll kind of go through them real quickly. Most of the time you're going to do that actually directly with your IP phone, not through our PBX or whatnot. So for example, our IP video phones for Android feature Bluetooth as well as our GXP 2100 series of high-end IP phones. And with most manufacturers, when they talk about Bluetooth support on an IP phone, they're really just talking about headsets. We go a couple of steps above and beyond that, and we give you the ability to actually sync your mobile device with these phones to transfer contacts back and forth, to share phone books, to share calendars, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the best way to do it, our 2100 series or our GXP 3200 series of video phones. The Android phones, to be completely honest with you, are very highly optimized to share phone books and contacts with Android devices. So if you have an Android device, you're going to see some great functionality there. I have an iPhone, and I have paired my iPhone and access my calendar and contacts with our GXP 2100 series IP phones. So if you have an IP phone, I'd recommend that. So those are the two ways that we support that at the moment.
Thank you very much. Next question. How does replacing existing servers with Grandstream go? Is there only vendor-specific PBXs that would work, or are there a list of those anywhere?
Sure, that is a good question, and I should have answered that earlier in what I was talking about. Our UCM series of PBXs are open source SIP devices. They will work with any third-party SIP product, service, etc. We obviously like to promote our own IP phones, and we've added some features and functionalities to our PBXs to make them a little bit quicker and easier to set up, and some extra features with our IP phones. However, it's an open source, open SIP PBX, will be compatible with any SIP endpoint. So if you're looking to replace an existing PBX, or if you have an existing set of analog devices or even SIP devices that you're looking to kind of replace the backend server or the PBX with, ours will absolutely be compatible with that. Obviously, if you're using analog devices, you'll just need to connect them back to the PBX through some ETAs and gateways. And if you're using SIP devices, it will be fully compatible and allow you to set up, customize the devices that way too. So yeah, hopefully that answers the question, but it will be compatible with any third-party SIP or even analog devices.
Thank you, Phil, very much. I'm going to go on to our next question here. Let's see. The phone itself rings as an alarm with a wake-up call. Is it possible to send an automated call with a recording with suggested attractions in the area to increase opportunities with marketing with clients during stays of our customers?
Absolutely, that's a really good question. Frankly, the only answer, the best answer I can give you is to tell you that yes, you can do that. In terms of how you do that, I think probably one of our engineers might be a little bit better to explain that to you. But I do know, because that's a very popular question, and something that, you know, we've heard from a lot of resellers with property management system needs to support, not just a wake-up call, but the ability to have preloaded announcements. I believe actually that might be what it is through the announcement center on the UCM, to also have pre-recorded announcements or recordings that when a call goes out to, you know, wake somebody up, can be played instead of that alarm. So yeah, for more information on that specifically, I would probably file a support ticket with us and ask that question. Our engineers will be able to show you exactly what feature and how that's set up. But I do know that we do support that.
Fantastic. Thank you. Got a couple more questions for you. Does Grandstream have any local events that they're hosting for meet and greets in the near future? This is from one of our salespersons that says, I would love to meet some of the Grandstream folks and grow our business together.
Yeah, that's so I guess the short answer is we don't really do too many of those. I would say that what we rely a lot on for things like that are our trainings, which I believe we've run a variety of different trainings with Microcom over the last couple of months. And usually for those, we're sending out usually a salesperson and one of our engineers to go out to those trainings. Yeah, that's probably the best method to do that. You know, the other thing is I know that speaking from an internal standpoint, one of the things that's really important to our sales team is getting in FaceTime with our partners throughout the world. So I would actually encourage you also to, you know, mention that to your Grandstream rep. You know, mention that you kind of want to open the lines of communication a little bit more, get to know them, and I'm sure that, you know, they'd be more than happy to schedule a trip to go out there. We have an office in LA as well, which is frankly mostly a warehouse and support. But I know you guys are out in California, so yeah, I mean that kind of going all over the place on that answer. But you know, if we have any trainings out there anytime soon, I would definitely head out to those. You'll be able to meet a couple of people, and if not, mention it to your Grandstream rep, and I'm sure they'd be more than happy to make a trip out.
Thank you, Phil, very much. Got one last question for you. You spoke a little bit about the new long-range outdoor Wi-Fi access point. When will those be ready for purchasing?
So the way we just released that to our beta club, I believe last week. And usually our process is that it's going to be in that beta club for, I'm going to say, an average of maybe 5 to 7 weeks. So at this point in time, I would look for that device to be announced probably sometime in August. Yeah, I'm going to say that maybe sometime between the end of July and the beginning of September. I know it's kind of a wide range, but that's when I would expect to see that officially launch.
Phil, thank you very much for answering those questions for us, and I'd like to thank everyone for attending today. And if there's any further questions, please feel free to contact your sales rep or email us at sales@microcomtech.com. If you wish to view any of the products mentioned or shown today, please visit us at www.microcom.us. Please remember, this webinar presentation has been recorded and it will be uploaded to our Microcom YouTube channel, so it can be referenced and viewed again. Thank you very much, everybody. And Phil, thank you again for the wonderful presentation and answering all those questions for us. Everybody have a fantastic day.